Novices hurdle. Alright, so they're about to walk in. They make their approach. They're off. Jumping away then for the Castle Windows Newbury Anniversary Novices Hurdle, and Cocktail Blur bounces off in front on the fairly lengthy run to the first, to Lisbon Park in a black and yellow jacket, and then Cecilia Star with the orange cap in third. Paddle Bandit in the mauve and black silks racing upsides Gambino, the blue stars, quite keen under restraint, as Cocktail Blur takes the first flight more fluently than Lisbon Park, who bunny hopped it. Back in the last third of the field, one of the greys, Kingberry, in the sheepskin noseband, racing ahead of another of the greys, Giddy Up a Ding Dong. And at the back of the field, Noble Dawn, as Cocktail Blur leads them left-handed towards the back straight. Over Lisbon Park, and then Cecilia Star in third, tracked by Gambino. They race in single file. Paddle Bandit is next to the nose-banded Giddy Up a Ding Dong, and then 2 or 3 lengths further back to Kingberry. And Noble Dawn with the orange sleeves and cap racing at the back of the field, and there would be about 10, maybe 12 lengths from top to tail. Line of 4 flights of hurdles await them across in the Newbury back straight, and Cocktail Blur and Freddie Gordon lead them on to the second, tracked by Lisbon Park and Harry Cobden. Cecilia Star hopping over nimbly in third in advance of Gambino and Paddle Bandit, and then Giddy Up a Ding Dong and Kingberry, and lastly Noble Dawn. Cocktail Blur on to the third, with Lisbon Park within a couple of lengths. But again, Cocktail Blur jumping very slickly, very quick through the air at the early flights. He's been a little bit swifter at each of the first 3 than Lisbon Park. Gambino and Cecilia Star track the leading pair towards the exit from the back straight, and they approach the halfway point midway down the back of the course. Cocktail Blur over Lisbon Park, and Cecilia Star and Gambino, and this time Cocktail Blur missed out. Put down on the flight, he was sharply gathered up by Freddie Gordon, who was in danger for a second or two of being dislodged. And Cocktail Blur still has the lead at the last on the far side. Cecilia Star, Gambino in the light blue in fourth, and then Paddle Bandit to Giddy Up a Ding Dong. Kingberry in the emerald green being shaken along, and at the back of the field Noble Dawn. Cocktail Blur then leaves them out of the back straight. A very long run now before they encounter the first of the 3 flights inside the last half mile. Cocktail Blur over Lisbon Park. Cecilia Star, Tom Cannon in third, the orange cap, in turn tracked by Harry Skelton aboard Gambino in fourth. Paddle Bandit is a further 3 lengths away, and then Giddy Up a Ding Dong. Noble Dawn makes a place, and Kingberry, still being shaken along, has dropped to the tail of the field. About to run the final turn, Cocktail Blur, despite a scare over on the far side, has made every yard of the running so far. Lisbon Park has always been sitting in second. That's Cecilia Star third and Gambino fourth, and they're the first half of the field who straighten inside the final half mile now. And on towards the third last, Cocktail Blur over Lisbon Park. Cecilia Star on the near side of Gambino being asked to close. The other 4 struggling to make any inroads. Paddle Bandit, Giddy Up a Ding Dong, Noble Dawn and Kingberry. 3 furlongs to go, couple of flights to jump. The grey Cocktail Blur. Lisbon Park now asked for his effort, a length and a half between them landing there. Gambino is still being nursed into the light blue, and then Cecilia Star. It's a long run down to the last. Cocktail Blur, Lisbon Park drawing up sides. Gambino switching to the near side. Lisbon Park and Gambino now form a pincer movement around Cocktail Blur, who still just had the lead at the last. 200 yards on the flat to see it out. Cocktail Blur, Lisbon Park, Gambino asks for more. Cocktail Blur, head bowed low willingly, fending off Lisbon Park. Cocktail Blur, just too good for Lisbon Park. Promising effort from Gambino in third. Clear of Cecilia Star in fourth.